Welcome to the MANNA Method podcast, where one simple choice can begin a lifetime of transformation. I'm your host, Franco Manna, author, speaker, and creator of the MANNA Method. Just turn your fork. The weight we were never meant to carry. Not every burden belongs to you. The question of the day. What is one emotional weight I can begin releasing today? When burdens become our identity, the emotional pain also becomes our identity. If a parent, teacher, or a school bully called you names throughout your life, within a short amount of time, we start to believe it. After a while, we add a mask over our face. When it comes to burdens, we also can add phobias to that list. I received many fears and phobias from my parents. It took me many years to break those spikes off my fork. To receive freedom and healing from phobias and fears, the first step is to remove one layer at a time. Taking that first step forward to finally receive peace, freedom, and a sense of belonging. There is a perfect story I shared in my Amazon book. I just don't want to share the whole story. I want to save it for my readers. If you like to read books like I do, I like to read chapter by chapter without knowing parts of the book. But I will share a small portion of it. I have two powerful metaphors in this paperback book. The main metaphor is just turn your fork. Now, getting back to burdens and phobias, in one of my personal stories in my ebook, the second metaphor I used in the book is the wet, heavy jeans. The meaning behind the wet, heavy jeans is we all carry inherited emotional beliefs, labels, and the unnecessary weight. And it all comes from our upbringing. In most cases, it can be called the invisible weight from our past. The unresolved pain needs to be healed before we can move forward into our next season in life. In my case, as a young man of 17 years old, I accepted a heavy burden and responsibility that I regretted for many years. I went into business with my parents. I was only 17 years old and a high school dropout. I was carrying the unnecessary guilt from my own decision. The moment we release other expectations we may be carrying, in that moment we begin to grow and heal. There is always a heavy price to pay when anyone's weight that doesn't belong to us. The emotional burdens affects our mind, body, and personal relationships. Finally, laying the weight down, making that first honest decision, and sticking to the plan. Your future becomes a lot lighter when you stop carrying your past on your shoulders. There was a time in my life I was wearing wet, heavy jeans, unable to swim my first lap in life. The emotional pain, the abuse, the burdens, and the disappointments. None of it was mine to be carried till the age of 64 years old. Today, I am 66 years old. The MANNA Method can help and guide you to identify and release that extra weight while understanding where it all came from. Then, taking the proper steps, making the key choices on removing that extra weight. Healing doesn't begin on its own. Healing only begins when we stop carrying what no longer belongs to us. Remember, not all burdens belong to you. Some of the hardest and heaviest weight we carry are inherited beliefs, the unspoken fears, and the burdens that were never meant to define our lives. When we are ready, we can ask ourselves, is this mine to carry anymore? The life you desire becomes possible when the weight no longer controls you. The heaviest burdens are often the ones no one else can see. The first step towards healing isn't adding something new to your life. It's choosing to put down what has been weighing you down all along. Closing, thank you for spending time with me today. If this episode encouraged you, challenged you, or gave you a new perspective, can you please share it with someone who might need it? Be sure to subscribe so you never miss another new episode of the MANNA Method. You can also visit us at www.themannamethod.org for books and future speaking events. Until next time, remember, one decision can change a direction, one step can change a life, and sometimes all it takes is just turn your fork. I'm Franco. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.